Everyone blames celebrity breakups on ego, schedules, or cheating, but the real killer is standing in the comments section. Fans say they want their stars to find love, but the moment someone dates the wrong person, that love turns into a coordinated attack. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Fans don't destroy celebrity relationships by accident. They do it on purpose. 7 couples, 7 different ways the same pattern plays out. And this is happening right now. While you're watching this, somewhere, another couple is being torn apart in real time by people who claim to be fans. Starting with Florence Pugh, who learned that 24-year-olds aren't allowed to date 45-year-olds without the internet turning it into a trial. Florence Pugh was 24 when she started dating Braff, who was 45. Instead of seeing a relationship, fans treated the whole thing like a math problem they needed to solve. The 21-year age gap became the only story anyone cared about. Fans had built an image of Pugh in their heads over years of watching her career, and that image didn't include a middle-aged director they couldn't project their own fantasies onto. The criticism was never really about compatibility. It was about ownership. They felt entitled to decide who she should date. Pugh called the backlash an insane amount of abuse, and she openly admitted that it genuinely hurt to read the worst things people were writing about someone she deeply loved. She defended Braff publicly. She pushed back against the idea that she needed to date someone younger or more famous to be valid. After they split in 2022, she stopped talking about her relationships entirely, making it painfully clear that the fans had successfully chased her love life into hiding. And the craziest part? She got off easy compared to what happens next. Because when the fans choose a couple to destroy, age gaps are just one weapon in an arsenal that gets bigger every year. But age gaps aren't the only thing that triggers the mob. Sometimes the fans don't even need a reason they can name. They just decide a relationship doesn't look real enough to survive their scrutiny. Taylor Swift and Tom Hiddleston lasted 3 months in 2016, and the media turned those 12 weeks into a forensic investigation. Every photo was analyzed. Every public outing was immediately called staged by people who'd never met either of them. The fans decided it was fake. They didn't wait for evidence. But here's the deeper pattern. When the entire internet treats your relationship like a publicity stunt, you eventually start performing for the cameras instead of connecting with each other. The pressure makes genuine intimacy impossible because every casual moment becomes content. You can't build anything real when the world is watching every move. Hiddleston eventually had to publicly deny that the relationship was staged, and academic surveys of his own fandom show that the negative impression from that 3-month period lasted for years after the breakup. Remember the I Heart TS tank top? Fans treated that like proof of a conspiracy instead of a goofy vacation shirt. The relationship didn't die from boredom. It died from a million people refusing to believe it was ever genuine. Harmless, right? A dumb shirt and some online gossip. Except that same skepticism, applied to 100 other couples, is what teaches celebrities that the only safe relationship is a secret one. The damage isn't measured in tank tops. It's measured in the relationships that never happen, because both parties know exactly what the internet will do to them. But this didn't start with social media. It started decades before the first tweet was ever sent. Let me show you how far back this really goes. In 1986, Cher was 40 and celebrating her birthday when she met Rob Camilletti, who was 22 and working in a Queens bagel shop. The tabloids immediately realized they had a story that would sell papers for months. The press couldn't attack the age gap directly without looking cruel, so they gave him a nickname that mocked his job instead. They called him Bagel Boy. That nickname wasn't harmless. It was classism dressed up as gossip. Rob wasn't famous enough to be dating Cher, and the press made sure everyone knew he came from the wrong world and didn't deserve a place next to one of music's biggest icons. The message was clear: you can date a superstar, but only if you're already famous yourself. The relationship fizzled under what everyone later called intense media scrutiny. Camilletti eventually walked away from the spotlight entirely, while Cher moved on to other partners who the press found more acceptable. Cher later admitted the constant attention wore them down. Rob went back to real life. The tabloids got their story, the couple got destroyed. The nickname stuck for years. Rob stopped being a person and became a punchline. And somewhere in Queens, a 22-year-old who just wanted to date someone he loved learned that the press doesn't need to destroy you, they just need to make you a joke. When the joke outlives the relationship, you don't get to move on. You get to be Bagel Boy forever. But the tabloids were just getting warmed up. If you think a Bagel Boy nickname was bad, wait until you see what happens when the entire media machine decides a wedding isn't a wedding, it's a sporting event. Paparazzi found an even bigger target when Bennifer took over the early 2000s and turned a celebrity wedding into a blood sport that made the Bagel Boy coverage look tame. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck got engaged in 2002 with a 6-carat pink diamond ring that cost $2.5 million, and the media treated their wedding like a sporting event the public was entitled to attend. Every detail was leaked. Every dress fitting was a headline. The pressure became suffocating. Lopez has openly said that press scrutiny killed the first engagement, and that single admission changes everything we think we know about why they broke up, because it shifts the blame from the couple to the culture. Think about it. We've spent 2 decades assuming Bennifer collapsed because of ego or infidelity or some classic Hollywood drama. That's the story the tabloids sold us, but Lopez's admission flips the narrative entirely. It wasn't cold feet. It wasn't another woman. It was the fact that they couldn't walk outside without 50 photographers screaming their names and turning every grocery run into a front-page crisis that made normal life impossible. When the second split came in 2025, something strange happened. The breakup was quiet, respectful, almost boring. No dramatic headlines, no leaked stories, no screaming fans. Compare that to the 2003 cancellation, a full media meltdown, same couple, same love, different levels of noise. That difference proves everything. The problem was never Ben and Jen, it was the circus. The first time around, the circus was deafening. The second time, it was quieter, and the relationship lasted longer because of it. They called off the 2003 wedding because the media circus had grown too loud for anyone to hear their actual feelings over the roar of flashbulbs and screaming headlines. 20 years later, they tried again, and the world had changed just enough to give them a brief window of peace before the old patterns came back and reminded them why they'd quit the first time. Some wounds don't close just because you wait 2 decades. By now you might be thinking, at least this was pre-social media. At least Bennifer didn't have Instagram comments making everything worse. But the next couple on this list proves that social media didn't create this problem, it just gave it a megaphone. And when millions of people start using that megaphone at once, the damage accelerates faster than any tabloid could dream of. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson got the same treatment as everyone before them, but the timeline compressed into weeks instead of years. They got engaged in 2018 after a few weeks of dating, and the internet responded by deciding he wasn't good enough for her before they'd even posted a photo together. Fans didn't ask if she was happy. They declared him unworthy and decided the relationship was theirs to judge. The backlash wasn't about compatibility or love at all. It was about fans controlling who their idol was allowed to date, and the speed of social media meant the verdict came down before the relationship even had time to breathe. When they broke up, fans treated it like a victory and spammed Pete's Instagram with "thank you next" comments until he changed his phone number because the harassment wouldn't stop. The engagement lasted 4 months. The online punishment lasted years. Pete changed his phone number, checked himself into treatment, and posted about not wanting to be alive, all because he dated someone his girlfriend's fans decided wasn't good enough for her. Ariana had to beg her own fans to back off and leave him alone. And even then, they didn't listen. Pete later said the scrutiny made his life a living hell. And if you think that was bad, if you think a 4-month engagement that nearly cost someone his life was rock bottom, the worst case of fan ownership was still coming around the corner. Because some fandoms don't just break a couple up, they refuse to let go even after everyone has moved on. Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez got something worse than a breakup. They got a fandom that refused to let them move on even after both stars found new partners. Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez dated on and off from 2010 to 2018, and what started as a teenage romance turned into public property that millions of fans believed they owned in their minds. The Jelena fandom built identities around the couple and treated every breakup or reunion like a season finale they were entitled to watch. When both moved on, the fans didn't. Years after the breakup, Justin liking a throwback photo with Jelena still sends fans into a complete frenzy in 2026. He's defended Hailey Bieber publicly from fans who've encouraged coordinated attacks on her Instagram. The relationship haunts them both. The public never moved on. Some wounds keep reopening every time the internet feels nostalgic, and both stars are trapped in a story they finished telling years ago. Sabrina Carpenter and Keoghan got the most recent version of this nightmare, and it shows how the cycle has only gotten faster and more vicious. Social media changed everything, and not for the better. They dated from late 2023 into 2024, and when they split, fans didn't wait for a statement or an explanation before inventing a cheating narrative that spread across TikTok and Instagram within hours. Barry called the rumors a narrative that's not true. He deactivated his Instagram and told friends he didn't want to go outside because the abuse had made his life a living hell. He was preparing for a major role as Ringo Starr in a Beatles biopic, and the online hate was so intense it nearly derailed his career at the worst possible moment. Sabrina later addressed the backlash that her own fans had directed at Barry, admitting the online behavior had crossed a line that no relationship should have to endure. She never confirmed the cheating rumors because there was never any evidence to confirm. The fans got what they wanted. The couple split. Barry disappeared from public life. And the worst part, nobody learned anything. Every couple on this list might have broken up anyway. We'll never know, because the public never gave them a fair shot to find out what they could have been. And while you watch this video, the same pattern played out again somewhere else in real time. A new couple, a new narrative, a new batch of comments from people who think they're protecting their favorite star by destroying the person they love. Drop a comment with the couple you think got the worst treatment. Subscribe for more takes that call out the culture instead of the celebrities. And next time you see a headline about a celebrity breakup, ask yourself whether it was actually about the relationship or whether it was about all of us.